All right, and welcome back to another episode of False Count Radio Interviews. This is number four in the series. Today we are joined by AC Rizzy. How's it going today, AC?
I'm doing pretty great. I'm staying pretty busy. Unfortunately, the season is acting up my allergies right now, so you're gonna have to excuse me if you hear me cough or sneeze. It's not COVID.
It's I think it's the temperature change down here in the south because I know you're in Charlotte, right?
Yes,
Yeah,
yeah,
I'm in Richmond, so I get the same thing every year. So far, I've missed it,
yes.
but
Gosh.
it comes. Yeah, so I'll just go ahead and get right into it. Did you grow up a wrestling fan? If so, who were some of your favorites?
Oh my gosh, my favorites. It's and pretty much anyone that was from North Carolina. I grew up in Raleigh, and being a girl, a Latino woman or child in Raleigh, North Carolina, I did not know that I could do anything so big. So anyone that was from North Carolina, like Ric Flair, Shane Helms, the Hardys, etc., they were the ones that I really idolized, and made me feel like I could actually do something cool.
As a Latino child growing up, what did you idolize any of the Latino wrestlers? I mean, I'm sure Eddie Guerrero is the first one that comes to mind, but any others?
I liked him a lot. I was a really big fan. I wouldn't go into idolizing because I was I didn't really identify with the Mexican imagery because I'm not Mexican. I'm Peruvian.
Oh,
So, but I wouldn't label it as idolized. Big favorite, yes, absolutely.
great. Now, when you went into wrestling, how did you go about that? When did you know that was what you wanted to do?
I knew I wanted to do it since I was around middle school age, like as a tween. I watched it a lot. I was a very strange child, and I thought that the women on the show were so strong looking, and they looked so powerful. They commanded a room, and I just really strived to kind of have that confidence. It actually was something that left my mind through high school. I had my high school sweetheart then. And then when I was about 20 or 21 is when I met my ex-boyfriend, Caleb Conley, and he trained along with George South at High Spot. And I remember a few months into the relationship, I was like, hey, I'm actually a trained dancer, classically trained dancer. I want to, do this. I want to try it. And he didn't take me seriously, but it was given pretty obvious from the beginning, first day of training, that I was meant to do this.
Well, that's definitely a good group of people to train with. George South and Caleb Conley, and I believe Cedric Alexander was in there for you as well. Correct?
Yes, we did train together. He helped me out a lot before he got signed.
Yeah, he's definitely one of my favorites right now. So definitely a good pedigree to train with. Was your family supportive of you going into wrestling, or were they kind of like, oh,
No, absolutely not. Absolutely not.
who's this?
Absolutely not. They were like, okay, my daughter's gonna die and she's gonna be paralyzed and she's not gonna have any money. But actually now they're pretty supportive because they've seen me be very successful, and they're like, oh my gosh, she actually got good at it.
Exactly. I think that's the story they always come around. I know Devon Dudley used to tell that story about like his mother would like not tell him what he does, and then once he gave him success, like you see my son on TV. So yeah.
Oh yeah, now it's a brag.
Yeah. On your social media recently, you stated that you were working through an injury. How's the progress going on that?
Yeah, I just sprained my ankle. I was filming a lot of shoots and stuff, and just being an overall active athlete. I'm also a professional dancer, and outside of wrestling, so I just sprained it. I'm actually still a little weak and a little sore. I'm pushing through it, but sprains always last like 4 to 6 weeks until they're completely gone. So I'm giving it another 2, 3 weeks until I'm okay.
Perfect. Sounds great. Sounds like it's going well. Um, all that too while going to school as well. I'm sure that that's a bit of stress on you at times.
Schooling? Oh yeah. Oh yeah, I'm pre-med.
Yeah. How's everything going with that?
What's that?
I said, how's everything going with that?
It's going great. Actually, when I like did college, I tried college, community college, and when I was 18 and 19, and I flunked out of two community colleges. Flunked out. What? At a community college? Yes, two of them. And then I started back up schooling about 4 years ago, and I think because I'm older and wiser, and I'm actually interested, and I got some life experience outside of college. I'm a 4.0 student. And I even got into the number one 2-year nursing program in the North Carolina for community colleges. Number one. And I still withdrew because I decided, nah, I know that I'm meant for more. So I am pre-med now.
Wow, definitely good going up there. I'm sure you're killing it there like you are and everything else. Um, Getting back to wrestling, your first match I believe was with Amber O'Neil. What are your memories of that match?
I don't think I have any memories of that match. I don't think I want to remember because when you're new, you're quite terrible.
Right. Um, I know, especially from reading like your social media, you were pretty close with Daphne. Can you talk a little bit about your relationship with her?
Oh gosh, yeah, I'd love to talk about Daphne. I know her as Shan. She was my best friend in the whole world. The whole world. We both got matching bipolar awareness tattoos on our wrists. You would have seen us post on Instagram a lot about that. In fact, when me and Caleb split, I didn't really want to stay in Charlotte, so she was the one that said, "Hey, come to Tampa, because where I'm at." And I was like, "Okay." And literally within a week, I was living in Tampa. I had my lease signed, was moving in. We spent so much time together before she finally went up back to Atlanta after her split with her ex. And let me tell you, that was the coolest, most empathetic, nicest person I've ever met in my life. And it's such a tragedy that she didn't feel as positive about herself as we did for her.
Yeah, I mean, I always loved her watching her back in. I mean, I'm a little older, so watching her in WCW, um, and just watching everything unfold like was heartbreaking to me. I can only imagine it was like for someone like you who knew her person, were as close with her as you were.
Yeah, I think what is kind of bugging a lot of us who knew her closely is like a lot of fans or other people that work with us that didn't know her are trying to reach out. Those that just started wrestling or so. Not that there's anything wrong with that, but they're like reaching out and trying to send condolences or at least like identify with her grief, but they can't. Fans can't identify with her grief. I mean, neither can people that didn't know her. It's a sad situation because she wasn't Daphne to me. She was Shannon, and she was my big sister and my mentor and someone who was supposed to be my bridesmaid when I got married. So, excuse me.
Yeah.
So it can be kind of unsettling with some of the feedback that we're getting, but I know everyone's heart is in the right place.
Yeah. Um, just tragedy all around. So sorry that you had to go through that. Who's been your favorite opponent so far to date?
Oh gosh, I have so many. I'm going to give you two. I'm going to give you Evilise and La Rosa Negra
Who's the second one? I'm
by
sorry.
far. La Rosa Negra?
Okay. Yeah, you were. I remember you were in a stable with her, with both of them, and along with
Mm-hmm.
Mercedes Martinez and Thea Trinidad. So, what was it like working with such an amazing group of women like that?
Oh gosh, my heart was so warm. I was so happy. They're all really good friends of mine. We're very close, and being able to be in a stable with him, I really got at that time I was still coming up in essence. Um, Even though my name had been out there already for a couple of years, It's like being able to sit there and listen to their knowledge and wisdom about the business, especially in women's wrestling. It was just, God, I felt so honored. And I still feel honored to have them as friends where I can soak in their knowledge. It's insane. They're literally brilliant. Mercedes and Ivelisse, brilliant. And La Rosa Negra, so kind, always looking out for the others.
Yeah, definitely a great group of women there. Someone else that you've had several matches with was Mickey James. What's it like working with her, especially after all the matches that you have had with her?
Oh, she's brilliant. She's a very brilliant woman. And I honestly, her and Mercedes are who I strive to be like, not only as people, but also as as a colleague to others, and just the type of, I don't know, they're the ones that I study really and how they move, and they're both very different when you think about it. But those are the two that currently I look up to in regards to becoming the successful wrestler that I'd like to be, if I'm not already, you
That,
know?
that's such a great comparison because I think either this week or coming up, this weekend, they're going to be wrestling each other on Impact.
Yes, yes. Oh, sign me up. I'm watching.
Exactly. She's. I kind of look at her living in Richmond as kind of like the pride of Richmond at this point because I can't really think of anybody else.
Yes, yes. It's definitely like that Carolina area, Virginia, Tennessee, North Carolina, South Carolina. We all have this like closeness about it. We're very proud of our territory,
Right.
so to speak.
Right. Yeah, growing up was here, especially in the territory area of the Mid-Atlantic days and things like that, was
Mhm.
definitely something to take pride in it then as well as now. Speaking of this area, I'll just get right to it. You're going to be appearing at WrestleCade coming up Thanksgiving weekend. Is that correct?
Yes, yes. So I'm doing autograph signings Friday starting at 5:30 p.m. and then Saturday and Sunday as well. I'm so excited because it's going to be such conventions are so fun for us as wrestlers. The fans get to have a really good time meeting all of us, and but for us, like as much as we love the fans, we love to see each other the most, especially when we're all in one place in one time, because we spend so much time traveling back and forth and you don't see all your friends. Maybe when you go do a show across the country, you have just one or two friends there that show up, and God, to have all of us together, it's definitely a nice reunion.
Right. Yeah. Pretty much almost all the names that we've talked about so far are going to be there, and that's a trip that I make every year too. So I'll be there all weekend. So I'll definitely make sure to say hello.
Yes, please do. Come to the table.
I shall.
Maybe
I
give you
will.
a free shirt or something.
Say that again. I'm sorry.
Maybe give you a free shirt or something.
Maybe. Yeah. I'll definitely come up and let you know that I'm me. uh,
Mhm.
um, you've done some intergender matches in the past. How do you feel about those, and what are some of the challenges that go along with them?
Um, I like to do them. I've always liked wrestling the guys. I think it just kind of comes to the reception to it. I think a lot of people don't really know how to do it correctly. And I see why so many of like the old timers are so against it because it's not being done correctly in this day and age. But there's some that know how to do it right. I am, I'm very smaller. Like I don't have really big muscles like a lot of the women that do intergenders. But excuse me, allergies. Um, but as long as you tell the right story, I think it's great.
Yeah, I think they're tremendous to watch. But like I said, sometimes and this is me just as a fan, because you say that a lot of people don't exactly do it right. They look kind of awkward on occasion.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it.
Past or present, who would your dream match be with?
Dream match, definitely Evilise again. and number one, Mercedes. And she knows that. When we talk on the phone, I'm like, oh, Mercedes, you're my number one dream match.
Yeah, that would be tremendous. I would love to see that. Obviously, you said it's happened before, but I haven't had the chance to see it. So hopefully one day. Um, so right now you recently shut down your Twitter account for a week or so, and I totally understand because I don't tweet at all because it's so toxic sometimes. But with this
Mhm.
was you got caught in a little bit of a mess with the Lars Sullivan thing, and I personally have to plead ignorance on this because I just happened to have the other participant in this on the show on Friday, and I had no idea this was happening. Do you want to talk a little bit about that situation?
Oh, absolutely. I would love to. So I only delete it just because everybody's really annoying to me. It's very toxic, and I feel very healthy within my soul. I really preach mental health advocacy, and I am a mental health patient, and I've been on therapy since I was 12, and I think it's fantastic. So I feel I feel probably quite healthy despite my struggles. And I mean, you can't. Everyone's too extreme in their views. They think the world is black and white. They think what, like, because I had made a comment about, hey, this is just cyberbullying at this point. Let me tell you, it does not work. You are not stopping people from being bad people. I remember there was another fan that came at me being like, yeah, but this, yeah, but that. And I said, I cannot stop bad people from being bad people. I can only control my reaction to situations in my life. Now, here's another thing. This is, I think, the approach that a lot of people take is very re-traumatizing. I understand what they're trying to do. I believe, really do believe what they're trying to do because I have been a victim of my circumstances too. And I don't even like to use the word victim because I'm it's a part of life to go through really crappy stuff. Now, yeah, I wish it didn't exist. But don't it's just we're traumatizing other victims or survivors while not changing. I'm sorry, can I cuss?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay, while not changing a goddamn thing. Nothing is changing. In my opinion, this call out culture thing does not work. In college right now, I have this really great paper about cancel culture and why it's the antithesis of progress. Um, it's so extreme and toxic that it's not working. In fact, it's doing more harm than good. But that would definitely be another conversation for another day because I could talk about this for hours. So I delete it just because I'm annoyed by people's behavior online. People have lost class. They forget that there's somebody else on the other side of the text that they see. And I don't have time for that. I have a family to take care of. I have a wrestling career to take care of. And I'm just really against the very aggressive cancel culture that it is. Back in my day, when we had problems with somebody in the business, you either cuss them out in the locker room or you talk to your friends about it. Their friends that run wrestling. I'm sorry, you don't have friends that run wrestling? Well, then maybe your voice is not going to be heard yet. You haven't earned it yet. I've been doing this 10 years. My voice is just being earned and respected. Don't come in here 2, 3 years in, 4 or 5 years in, without making your connections and thinking that your voice is the same level as mine. Sorry. Not trying to be mean, just kind of that's like, and that's not just wrestling. That's many industries. My sister is an executive at Pepsi, and my brother is the vice president of Advanced Auto Parts. They've had to earn their voices in industries. It doesn't just come just because you decide to do it.
Right. Yeah, it's definitely something that takes some time. And I had something similar, not something that similar, but I mean with my Twitter account where I deactivated it so often that they suspended me because they thought I was doing something bad, and I was like, no, so I'm gonna miss it, you know.
It's okay. You can always start a new one.
Yeah, I mean, like if I really cared that much, I would. But
Right.
it's if I do that, it's I'm just going to deal with the same toxicity that was the reason I kind of got sick of it in the first place.
Yes. I'm glad that you're also talking about, and you said it before I did, the toxicity of it. I mean, honestly, I think my problem with Twitter is that only those extreme views are on there, and you hear about it, and you don't see people with common sense, because people with common sense don't do that.
Right.
So those that are on extreme sides of certain viewpoints and whatever the topic, right? They're going to think that they're the only viewpoint, right? Because people that have sense and have a healthy self-esteem are not partaking in conversation.
Twitter is toxic, and the wrestling fan community is toxic. So those two combined, it's just like, get me out of here.
It makes me very sad. I would really like to see that improve. I really believe in being good in the world. I really believe in dharma, which is way better than karma.
Right.
And I put out good in the world because I want the world to have good. And I wish as many people in wrestling tweet about being virtuous and things like that. That's true virtuosity. You're doing good so the world can have good, not so that you can screw people over, ruin lives, this and that, etc. Like, oh, I told you I could talk for hours about that, but I don't
Yeah.
think today's the day for that. Too emotional.
Yeah. It's
My heart's beating.
well, it's just kind of funny because there's fans that I know for a fact that are like the behind their phone they're kind of tough, but when you see them in person they're not. Couple when I was at WrestleCade 2 years ago, I was wearing a T-shirt of a sister show of ours, Wrestling Soup, where they'll plug our show pretty regularly and they'll mention me by name. So I was standing in line wearing their T-shirt, and someone walked up to me and was like they were a fan too. They're like, "Oh, Wrestling Soup," and I'm like, and I said, "Oh yeah, do you know that guy Andrew that they're always plugging?" And he goes, "Oh yeah, that guy's an asshole." And I'm like, well, "That's true because that's me. I would know." So it wasn't like a really like contentious thing, but it was just kind of funny that it turned out that way. Um,
Right, right. We're never in the world of Twitter and the wrestling fan community. You can never do anything right.
right, exactly. There's always someone to criticize, and it's like
Hmm.
not that I won't criticize when we talk about whatever, but like I'll try to not bash something, but if try to find
I
something
only
good in things.
Right, and I only ask for one thing out of the internet wrestling community is show respect.
Right.
I don't care what your views are, political, religious, family values. I do not care. What I care about is, are you showing yourself, me, and others respect?
Exactly. Now your website went live over the weekend at onlyrizats.com. Can you talk a little bit about
Hmm.
the launch and what fans can expect to see over there?
Oh, I'd love to. Yeah. So Only Rizat is my creative venture. I'm not just a wrestler and a dancer. I'm a graphics designer, photographer, etc. I love to create merchandise. So I created Only Rizat as my main website and a place for, as it builds, for other wrestling fans to have a community together for me, because I hate social media so much and I'm trying to get off of it for obvious reasons. But also with the merchandise, it's just a brand that I think, it's kind of a knockoff of OnlyFans. It's a parody, but it's there to make people laugh, make people smile. And I really needed a creative outlet as therapy for my grieving process right now since Daphne's passing. And with my merchandise, I will be giving 10% of proceeds to NAMI, the National Alliance for Mental Illnesses. And I think I really hope that a lot of fans and others in wrestling can get on board with what I'm trying to build, not just for myself and my brand, but also uh, for the therapy I'm trying to get out of it for myself, and to be able to get some donations to NAMI.
Absolutely. Definitely do that for a good cause, and I'll make sure to put the link in the recap of this. Lastly, just want to ask, because I want to be respectful of your time, do you have anything you'd like to say to all your fans?
Um, Anything to say to all my fans? Yes, absolutely. That I absolutely love that they've been supporting me all these years. There's been quite a few that've been around for, gosh, like since I started. And only Rizaz and AC Rizzy would be nothing without them.
Absolutely. Now, I do want to plug all your various ventures here. Your Twitter account is at AC underscore Rizzy. Your Instagram at AC.Rizzy. And go check out her OnlyFans at onlyfans.com /AC Rizzy. Um, where just a disclaimer there that I know you have to put that on the description there that there's no nude content on your OnlyFans, and it's only $5 a month. Come on, guys, don't be cheap. Just do it.
Yes. Thank you so much. I'm so glad that you were able to have me on the interview.
Yes, absolutely. And I guess I'll see you in a couple of weeks.
Yes.
All
See
right.
you then.
Thanks for the time.